There are so many interesting, horrifying, or downright weird things in this big world of ours.
Each week, we'll bring you a new true crime story that has little to no coverage in English.
Let us do the translations, so you don't have to.
How do we do it? How do you do?
I think we just start. We do it like this every single time.
Every single time. I even
every
listened to
single
one
time.
of the previous ones where we did the
Yes.
same. That how do we start these episodes? Oh, we always do the same. So we don't know.
Yes, we do this.
So we
this is
don't
what we
start
do.
them really.
This is what we do. Petra, this is what we do. Okay,
Yes.
let's go.
This is completely planned. Hello.
Yes.
Welcome to
Yes,
another
yes.
news tangent episode. We're back with some random news.
Yes. Okay. Well, I just wanted to. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but I thought that now is good time to talk about the murder of the Ulla Linna, the doctor who murdered his wife.
Ah, yes. Yes. And it has been in the news again. Yes.
Yeah, because now the psychiatric assessment, I think that's the term in English, mielentilatutkimus, in the end of summer, they declared that he was sane, so he murdered his wife in insanity.
Mm-hmm. Can you give a very quick
Not
recap?
insanity, but while he was sane.
Yeah, insanity. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So he wasn't suffering from a serious mental illness or psychosis or anything like that, according to the psychiatric assessment. The psychiatric assessment in Finland is apparently really long. Like it can take 6 months, and usually the person is like in an institution, and they do all kind of assessments and kind of see how he acts and so on.
Can you, Petra, give a very quick recap of the story? What happened?
Yeah. So I don't remember. When was it? Not last, of course, it has been 2022. In December, he murdered violently his wife, apparently with some kind of blunt thing, like maybe a candle. What is it? Where you put
Candlestick?
Candlestick or something like that.
Yeah.
Candle holder?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Candelabra? Depends. I mean, like, if you're talking about, like, Clue, you know, the board game, candlestick, or, even though...
I love that
go
Cluedo game, where there is also a murder weapon.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, then he did, try to hide the body of his wife, but that's when he put her in a rug and a bag and something and took her out of the building and while he was trying to put him in the car, like back of the car, the neighbors were like, this is weird, especially because the wife had been like already declared missing, like people were looking for her. So
and can it be more obvious than
Yeah,
carrying
with
a
a
body
rug.
in a rug?
I feel like that's the most stereotypical thing. So he used a candle. Did he like watch Clue, the movie, you know, with Tim Curry or something? Because I feel like this is candlestick, rug,
yeah,
all these
exactly.
stereotypical things, and yeah, okay. But yeah, was there a reason why he killed his wife?
Well, not really. Like some hypothesis that he was jealous, but nothing like really like, oh, this is it. At least what I understood from the press. But the interesting thing was that only about a year before this happened, this was also in the news, but much smaller news. He was testing a car, like you can test a car when you go to car shop, right? You go for a drive, and he had his whole family in the car while doing this.
This is the part that I remember. Yeah.
Then he drove to the sea, like from the market square, that is like the center of the city in Helsinki.
Yeah, I remember this one too.
Yeah, and at that time it was just like, oh, that's a stupid accident to happen. And he was like, you're testing a car, you are not very good with how to drive it and all that. So he was just like, oh, what a thing happened. That was very unfortunate, and everyone was saved and nobody died. And it was just peculiar news at that time.
It almost seems like his intrusive thoughts won out, you know? Like, I'm not saying that I think this all the time, but of course sometimes when you're driving a car and you're like, what if I just, turn the wheel a little bit into the oncoming traffic or something, right? I mean, I can't be the only one who has these intrusive thoughts, but they never went out.
Oh, the tram is coming, or the metro is coming.
Yes,
what if
exactly.
I would just fall onto them?
Yes, or
people will be sending us emails that, are you crazy?
Are you guys okay?
Right.
Fuck. But yeah, so I think in that regard, I'm like, I kind of get it, but then at the same time, I don't understand him trying to kill his family, of course, but because I never do that when someone else is in the car, obviously. But if I'm alone, then I'm like, yeah, all right, But yeah.
But in this or during this incident, the kids were also in the car.
Yes, which makes it kind of more horrible.
I'm just glad that everybody got out, because I was also just watching, because of course with cars nowadays being electric windows, I mean, most of the time when I was driving in my early adulthood or whatever, like my cars always had like the manual roll down, which always made me feel a bit better, because I could always roll down the window if I ever got into a accident, because usually, like when I drive to my grandparents' house, there was this lake and lots of lakes around that you could easily go into, and I always just like mentally prepare myself, if I ever get into a situation where I'm in water in a car, I can roll down the window. But like with these modern cars, what the fuck do you do? Like, windows aren't easily breakoutable, and
usually I think they should have some kind of manual escape.
Open the door.
Then again,
but you can't open the door because there's too much pressure on the door, like from the water.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, what the fuck do you do? You try to break the window, and that's
do you
even
think
difficult.
that? I mean, if you're quick enough with rolling down the window, or not rolling it down, but pushing the button, then maybe it's
fine.
It's still working.
Maybe, but then if that's not the case, then what do you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, just a thought I've been thinking about. I even thought about this today, because I saw like an advertisement for one of these tools that you can have in the car that kind of, you press it against the window and it just shatters the glass. It's like this pressurized or spring-loaded mechanism.
I think the ones that are in the bus, aren't they like that?
Yeah, there's like a small pressure point on the window, like that you need to, and then it's like a very fine point, because of course with like physics, the smallest point of pressure, and then it like, okay, well, yeah. Anyway, yes, that's what it does. Yes.
But well, at that time apparently, anyway, it's in the middle of the city, so also like it's very fast. Someone like, well, there is someone to deal with this kind of accident, as if it happened often.
But what happened to his kids then too? Because like, I'm glad he didn't try to murder his, like, it's still sad that he murdered his wife. I get that, but like that he didn't murder his children too. It's interesting that he tried to kill everybody in the car, but not afterwards. Yeah. That part is interesting to me.
It is. And the thing about this news is, so this guy was a psychiatric doctor. Yeah. This is also interesting thing here.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he has one of the most interesting,
treating people with psychiatric illnesses and stuff. And he was also, and is still saying to the court that this was because of a psychiatric illness, that he was in some kind of, at least deep, maybe psychotic depression, or I don't remember what was the.
But I want to argue something, because most psychiatrists or whatever people, don't they usually also have some therapists or psychiatrists as well to kind of talk to, because I mean, if you're taking on the load of somebody else's mental instability, or like, okay, instability is the wrong word, but you know, like even in The Sopranos, the therapist had a therapist, right?
Yes.
So like, I'm always like, yeah, it's kind of like a trickle down effect, right?
Yeah.
Like there always has to be someone who has to take your shit as well, because you're dealing with stuff of other people.
There is a word for that in Finnish. Like it's not just for psychiatry, like that kind of occupation, but any kind of occupation where you have to deal with like harsh stuff. A kind of like where you assess the indirect trauma kind of things. But yeah, I don't know about that. And if I remember correctly, he was not working lately anymore. Like he was on maybe sick leave or just something. So I think the case here is that he wasn't in his best health. That is probably true.
Yeah.
That he did have depression and that kind of thing. But there is like people can have severe mental issues without that ending up them murdering anyone.
Yeah, obviously.
So I think that is the point of the psychiatric assessment also. Like, it's not like they're saying that, you don't have any mental issues. Obviously he has mental issues if he murders his wife.
Yeah.
But the thing is that do they
he
prevent...
wasn't insane at the time.
Like do they prevent him from making the judgment himself? Is he kind of out of control? Because I think that's where you can, like if you're in total psychosis and you don't know what's real and what's not, then usually I guess the psychiatric assessments would say that you weren't not you didn't know what you were doing. But also the interesting thing is because he's a psychiatrist, he knows also the whole assessment thing.
Yes.
Like your regular criminal or suspect doesn't.
Yeah, I thought of this too. I was like, who better to con a psychiatrist or like an evaluator in these settings than someone who's done it themselves or like knows the questions.
Yeah, knows the different instruments
but then
they use.
It also makes you think like, okay, of course the people who are making the assessments, they realize that this guy is a psychiatrist, so are they just kind of interpreting everything he does as a con?
True.
So
yeah. That's interesting.
It's a sad case. I mean, they lost the... I don't know if she was actually the mother or like a new marriage. But anyway, she was still a person with people who cared about her and... You know, for example, her colleagues had immediately got worried when she didn't come to work, and
that's fucked.
Anyway, it's always horrible if someone gets murdered by their family member. It's just I don't know.
Which is like the most common thing that you know someone who murders, but it's.
But I guess this is a bit different in the sense that usually the family murders don't happen in this, like this was in Ullanlinna, which is like super expensive, rich area in Helsinki, and he's a doctor, he has a good salary, I would assume. So in kind of like in the elite, usually lots of homicide happens in the less educated part of the population.
But of course it would be interesting to know like why was he on sick leave, a little bit more about his background, how he got into the state that he ended up in. But I think in most of these Finnish cases, we talk about this often, that you can't really know that much about the background.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm also thinking, was this a plan? Like he went on sick leave. Was this all premeditated, that he was trying to prove that he was insane or not mentally fit before the crime?
Say that I would somehow think this wasn't super premeditated because it was so badly like the whole hiding the body and everything that he just...
But I feel like that's kind of never a forte of many people who obviously don't listen or watch crime stuff. I think we
Yeah.
take for granted what or how we would hide a body. For instance, if we would theoretically, hypothetically murder somebody, you know, I think we would have already a better idea than someone who is completely, I don't know, novice in listening to these types of things or watching. So yeah, so I wouldn't take that as kind of a indicator that it wasn't premeditated. Maybe he's just stupid in that regard. I mean,
Yeah.
intelligent in psychiatry or whatever, but not so much in murder.
Yeah.
Which, can you blame somebody for not being intelligent in murder?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's better when they're not.
yeah. Should we go on to the next one? I'm curious if
Yeah.
Victoria and I
If we have the
one.
same one. I don't think
Yeah.
the chances are very high. And it's this actually the one that I chose. It's not super recent, so it has been, or
okay.
things about it, things related to it have been in the news, I think recently as well. But the kind of main story came out last fall, maybe. It's the Ruby Franke case.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that
No, it's not mine. It's not
okay?
mine.
But is it familiar to both of
Yes.
you? To you,
Yes.
Laura? Yes.
Yes,
At least the
video
name doesn't.
blogger, basically.
Yeah. So Ruby Franke was like a. I actually just heard about this story kind of recently or in the past few months, and then I listened to a podcast about it. So this is also a podcast recommendation again for all of you. But she was this momfluencer, you know, like a Christian mom and dad, but then they ended up separating. And there, I don't know how many kids, and they were vlogging all the time. Like they had this YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. That was super popular,
I'm
like with
assuming
millions
she
of
has
views.
8 children.
Oh yeah, right. No,
Just
actually
keep in
6.
mind.
No, and then
6
the 2
children,
parents.
yeah.
Yes, 6 children.
I thought that the children are the passengers and the parents are just driving the train.
Ah,
Yeah,
well,
do you call yourself a passenger as you drive? I don't know. Because I would say, like, I'm a driver and then 7 passengers. But, yeah, okay, anyway.
super important. No, because you have passenger
Tangents.
seat in the car.
This is the whole point of the episode. We have random ass tangents, right?
Yes, wait a sec. 6 children.
Okay, so the parents are passengers too. Maybe God is the conductor.
Jesus,
Probably.
take the
Oh yeah.
wheel.
Well, actually, yes. I think there might have been something about this too. But yeah, anyway, so it was this like kind of perfect family situation and Christian and you know all that. But she especially was really known for her very, very strict parenting style and really kind of weird way of disciplining her children.
Okay. I mean, I guess you have to be kind of strict if you have 6 children. Like, it just doesn't work out if it's
But
all
things
free
like
parenting.
that, I don't know, for like kind of seemingly small things. Like for example, there was one of the kids, this I remember from the podcast, who was like really young, and she was supposed to pack her own lunch to school, and she didn't. So, or she forgot, or I don't know, she didn't have lunch. And then there was this vlog from Ruby where she was saying that the teacher called her, that the kid came to school without lunch, and then, you know, that they want to give her something or whatever, just calling the mom, and she forbade the teacher to give any food to the kid.
Okay,
Because
this
she
is not
was
the
supposed to do-
strictness that I was
No.
thinking. Yeah.
Or like I think her son did something which I can't remember now, but not a major thing, and they took away his bed for 8 months and took the doors of the rooms and like crazy stuff.
His
But,
what?
His
His
bed.
bed.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds already like a child abuse.
Yeah. So
I
he
mean,
was
all of
sleeping on
it
a
was,
beanbag
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so
so
okay,
these
I get
were-
it. So
these were
weird
still the-
punishment style. Yeah.
Yeah, but these things were still kind of on YouTube, and then kind of more of these weird punishments started coming out. I think they eventually sent the son also to this camp, this conversion, like not conversion camp, but sort of like a military style survival camp thing help him, learn some discipline and things like that. So then I think a lot of people who were watching this channel started commenting that they are concerned or what's going on. So this kind of unfolded for a while online, and then suddenly, and I'm not going to spoil all of the story, but she went into like a very cult direction. She got to know this woman named Jodie Hildebrandt, and then she ended up separating from her husband and everything. And
there was kind of like a love triangle thing going on too, right? Or like allegedly, even though she's like super Christian and whatever. And
I don't think it was
like
a triangle. I think
but
she had this like, she was a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I can't remember now, but she
also got her license taken away at some point, right? Or suspended.
Yes. But she still did these workshops for people, couples, yes. So
now this started to sound familiar. I feel that I've read something, probably at work, on this.
Yeah. Wait a second. I have something written down about how this unfolded then later. So, but anyway, so this went on, some weird signs online, and then suddenly the news came out that that this Jodie Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke were both arrested because. Yes, the arrest came after one of Franke's children escaped from Hildebrandt's home, appearing emaciated and with visible injuries, prompting neighbors to call the authorities. So they the two of them went into this extreme direction, this culty direction, and they were really, really severely abusing the children with like crazy types of punishments, like starving them and everything. So, so this was kind of unknown to the public, or this was not the case for a long time. She was just this super strict Christian mom, and then some weird things happened. There were some kind of signs of it online, but no one knew what's actually going on in the background. And then finally, one of the children escaped from the home, went to a neighbor, rang the doorbell, and they were like, oh my God, this kid looks horrible, like really, really severely injured and everything. And they called the police, and then they raided the house and everything. So they ended up being arrested. So there's this podcast about it that goes into a lot of details about how this whole case unfolded, what went on in the background, all the different people involved. It's called The Rise and Fall of Ruby Franke. So I really recommend listening to it. It's very interesting, but super sad.
Yeah, I've listened to another podcast. I'm trying to remember if it was And That's Why We Drink or Sinisterhood. Maybe both of them covered this at one point, but it was years ago that I listened to this, or heard about this case.
But actually, they were arrested last August, so
really?
It wasn't.
Last August?
Yeah, last August.
Oh shit! It
but
seemed
I think
like
the trial was this year.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's
last
not
August, like a year ago, August.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh,
Yeah.
Okay.
23.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was like when I was. Oh, but then there's this other case too, like the. Okay, never mind. There's another family case of abuse that the children escape from, and they're also like multiple kids and stuff, and it's like they. Okay. Anyway, never mind.
I think this is not the only one where you see this family YouTubers, vloggers.
Yeah. I think this other case wasn't vloggers or YouTubers, but it was. But also the kid escapes and gets help for his siblings and whatnot. But yeah. So.
Or other similar cases that I heard, but I think they are vloggers too. Most of the time, is this kind of van lifer families that they have like one van, and all the children also are kind of just there in like weird bunk beds and whatever. Like, I don't know, like just seems to be in some of these cases kind of a not very healthy situation.
I just always question these places that are like these people who put their kids online in the first place, in these like, okay, sure, like a Instagram post or Facebook post or whatever, that's totally fine, or story, but like making it your actual income
it's
to
a different
profit
if
off of your children.
Sharing with your friends, like we did this with my kid.
Yeah, but like actually making a living off of your children is the most fucked up part, I think.
A lot of things, even before it went into this extreme abuse direction, was really alarming about this case too. Like already things that were publicly online and not considered illegal. Like for example, this one time when Ruby and some of the kids were in their car, like she was driving them to school or something, and they got into an accident, car accident, and she was even vlogging during that, like just taking videos of the kids that, are you okay, like going to the other car, like just kind of recording the entire time, when maybe that should not be your, you know, top priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, as if they were
Fucking
just
hell.
some kind of tools to her.
Yeah. But up until this point, this story is not even that fucked up. It's fucked up, but it becomes a lot more fucked up when it gets into this Jodie Hildebrand direction. And then, yeah. I think it's really interesting to listen to all the details and how the story unfolds. So I don't, you know, want to really like tell the entire story, but it's...
But wasn't the father also indicted on something as well? Or was it just the two women?
I think he wasn't, because kind of Jodie convinced Ruby to cut him off entirely or just separate from him.
But I'm just like, there must be more like evidence, like the kids could, you know, swear that he also did stuff to them before he was kicked out, you know, and yeah, I think he was participating in those like kind of punishments and things like that as well, but those are not really torture, I guess.
No, I mean just this kind of taking away the bed and things like that, which is obviously not okay, but not the actual like extreme torture and like starvation and things like that, because he was not allowed to see his kids. And I think when the two women were arrested, he was also taken in for, and he gave a testimony, and he was really like totally clueless about what was going on. But even then, I think he was still kind of trying to somehow, I don't know, believe that that his wife is not actually such a bad person, and they have these phone calls recorded from prison and everything. So it's really interesting. It's kind of questionable what his role was, but he was not the main character in the most extreme parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, listen to this podcast, guys. It's one season, I think, like I don't know how many episodes, but it's really good and very, sad.
Yeah. Okay. I have probably an even sadder story. I don't know.
We're just going worse and worse today.
Yeah.
Was this the wrong order?
I don't know. I don't know. This was quite difficult. I was actually quite fucked up from this for ever since September, basically. Because I'd been following the case and I signed the petitions and all this stuff, and it just, kind of just mind blowing. It's just okay. So have either of you heard of the Marcellus Williams getting executed
Yes.
in Missouri?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Was it the
So
news?
yeah, it was in the news. So basically, in 2001, Williams was convicted of the murder of Felicia Gale, who was a former newspaper reporter and social worker, and she was stabbed, I think it was like 43 times or something, in her home. And in 1998, on August 11th, 1998. And so then Williams was convicted of her murder in 2001, and then he had been on death row since then. And at one point they had a stay of execution, I think in like 2016 or 17 or something like that, if I remember correctly. And there's a lot of people, okay, yes, he had been jailed in 99 for armed robbery of a donut shop and stuff, but that doesn't really play into the fact that or maybe it does in some people's opinions, on the jury, because he's a black man, he had prior convictions and stuff. All of this kind of had a role, and all of the jury was white men, I think, at least white people, but I think they were all men as well. And there was no physical evidence linking him to the actual crime, which is the kicker. And they had the weapon, for instance, like the knife, they tested he is not tied to it. Like DNA excluded him from being at the crime scene. And this still wasn't enough for the governor.
Is it one of those cases that where, like during the first trial, there's some sort of a testing, or it's not new evidence, basically they don't consider it new evidence, so that's why they cannot open a new trial for him with the DNA?
No, like they basically wanted, like so they tested it, like the DNA was indeed like new technically, like after the fact. So the DNA on the knife was long to be like, or it was misproperly handled as well. So like his DNA was never found on the weapon, and then also it was mishandled by the actual lab investigators and stuff too. And then the other thing was that when like his brother-in-law or somebody that was related to him somehow, like in passing or whatever, was basically there was a reward for information on the murder. And so there was an incentive for people to obviously lie about and say like, oh yeah, this guy confessed to the murder, etc. And so basically his girlfriend and then this other guy both basically said, yeah, he admitted the murder to us, but there was $10,000 on the line. His girlfriend, I think, was addicted to crack cocaine or something, or had been a user. And it's just kind of like, can you take a confession or like some type of one of these cases like at heart when there's money on the line?
But also it should not be enough.
No, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically Williams was eventually like spared from execution in 2015 and 17, but it didn't result in the conviction being overturned. So since then, his lawyers have been like fighting for the overturn of the conviction, and basically there's just multiple points that like he couldn't have done this, like DNA for once. Even the prosecutor was like, this guy hasn't done it. We need to get the stay of execution. Like, he didn't do it. He should not be executed. And even the family of the victim was like, he didn't do it. We don't want him to be executed. Please do not execute him. But then it's just,
and also it just makes the real guilty person to get never caught.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you just decide some random person did it without a...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Or the same person had the opportunity to kill more people, and then maybe they are in prison now for something else.
Yeah. And so, so basically he, like, I was, thinking of, like, I don't know, I've been watching this for a while now, and like I said, there's been petitions and stuff going on. I think there was like over 1 million people who signed the petition, like, to stay the execution and like try to get this stopped. But like, I don't know, it just feels so fucking shitty. Like, I thought, like, I went to bed on the 23rd of September and I was like, okay, they can't execute him. That would just be fucking stupid.
Like no one is saying
that he did it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's just like there's this rigid system, and then someone on the top is saying that, well, we're not going to change this now, so.
Yeah. And the thing is, the governor could have stayed his execution. They could have just stopped it. but this fucking douchebag motherfucking Republican piece of shit, Governor Mike Parson, he didn't step in. He said, like, the day before, I'm not going to step in to save Marcellus Williams. I'm not going to stop the execution because justice needs to be swift. And that was like the whole fucking thing, that they wanted justice to finally be served. Like, they wanted it because it's
serving justice.
No, it's not serving justice. And why do you want it to be swift? What is the fucking point of a swift justice if you have doubts, if the prosecutor has fucking doubts that it's the person who committed this
also,
crime?
It's how is it swift when the crime happened in 98?
Yeah. But that's the thing, we've delayed justice long enough. That's basically what they were thinking.
So let's just execute someone.
Yes, basically, yes.
Yeah, it's...
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like one of the big reasons, and no matter what you can think of the moral of death penalty, like is it okay or not, but one thing why I'm against it is that, like, it's just too much power in the hands of people. You can never know if they are like that or if they're actually fair.
Yeah.
And
or if there's ulterior motives or anything like that. I just feel like there's so, like, this case has just made me so fucking, like, I don't know, like, just so angry and so, so fucking pissed off with, like, the unjust, like, normally I would say, like, you know, let's say at least 50% of the time the justice system works pretty well. But, like, this just makes you think, like, if you were ever on the fence about the death penalty, this is the case that should fucking stop you from saying that you're pro death penalty or capital punishment, because this is so fucked up. This should never have fucking happened. Innocent man was murdered by the fucking government.
Yes. It was already fucked up that he had to be on death row for 20-something
24 years. 24 years he was on fucking death row. And multiple times he was almost executed, and then, like, right before, oh yeah, sorry, you have a stay of execution. Like, the stress and the mental anguish and all this fucking shit. Yeah. And then yet he was still, like, doing well, like, in prison. Like, he practiced Islam, and he was of the Islamic faith, and so he acted as, like, a, you know, guide for other people and stuff in prison in the Islamic faith, and he would write poetry and all this stuff, and, like, you know, there's all these things that he did well, and, like, he did good, like, he comforted other people in jail, so, like, there was at least a silver lining in a little bit of that, but it's like, he shouldn't have fucking been there in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, of course, in any country there is this kind of, like, cases when someone gets sent to prison and then afterwards it's like, well, actually it wasn't this person, but that is still something you can never give the time back, but still the person has their life. They can if the justice system seems that, okay, hey, we did a mistake, now you can go out of prison, you get some, you know, money from the government because you were not guilty and so on. But if you take one's life, that's it. No, and
he has his family that now doesn't have him. Like, it's just all this, just it's just so fucking angry.
Yeah. But I totally agree about the death penalty because of this. Because even if there are some cases where we think that this person would deserve to die for the horrible thing that they did, it's just still not worth it for all the other people who might be murdered innocently. Yeah.
So that was my depressing fucking case. I don't know. I just Yep.
Animal facts.
I just sometimes I hate the U.S. government in these regards, and like I said, politicians have too much fucking power sometimes.
And they think more about their reputation or their position than actually doing the right thing.
And the hunger for power. Like, I can imagine that this guy has, like, he has the power of someone's life in his hands. And he can get, like, he basically draws the last straw of
Yeah.
killing someone. I don't know if that
Yeah.
was an expression.
He's a fucking
anyway,
murderer.
but
yeah,
he doesn't get any punishment because,
No.
you know, yeah.
He's a fucking murderer in my opinion. Like, he should be. Like, I hope if there's a hell or something, or if there's like an afterlife, that he will suffer in it. So, yeah. Because karma, whatever, some fucking justice will be done to him, that like, or the fucking god that he believes in abandons him. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. The animal facts.
Animal fact. Okay.
Oh my god.
Do we have animal facts?
Yeah, I do.
You prepared with an animal fact.
Yeah.
You knew that this was gonna be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom actually sent me this animal fact today. So, well, she didn't know it was going to be an animal fact on this episode, but but she knows that my favorite.
Is it a listener story?
Not quite. But she knows my favorite animals are sharks, obviously. And so basically there's a new species of hammerhead shark that was caught off the coast of Belize recently.
Wow.
So, yes, it says
Where
that
were
there's
they
a
hiding?
new... Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a relatively small hammerhead. I think it's like only like, what is it, like about 3 feet long or something, so like about a meter long ish hammerhead, and it's called the shovelbill shark, or the scientific name would be Sphyrna aleni. And so it was basically caught, I think, in 2018 or 19 or something, but then the article was just published recently in September as well, that
it took them
that it's new.
6 years.
I'm trying to think, like, let me read the article a little bit more.
I'm just like, I can relate that it took them 6 years.
I was also thinking the same.
Is this a new species or not? We should do some research.
Yeah, like according to the article on Miami Herald, the anglers in Robinson Point and Riversdale Village caught a dozen hammerhead sharks between 2016 and 2019 and gave the animals to scientists according to a study published in September 23rd in a peer-reviewed journal called Zootaxa. And so they analyzed the skeleton, the DNA, and basically they were like, oh, yeah, this is a new species. And generally it's, 3 feet, 4 inches, smallish, considered hammerhead, and they have slender bodies, a flat or shovel-shaped heads, of course, because most hammerheads do have like a kind of, and then their eyes are small and their teeth are sharpened, like all sharks. Yeah. So I don't know why this is
Thank you for the description of this.
And they're a bit gray-brown in coloring, and below they're creamy white. But yeah, so they usually are found in coastal waters, estuaries, coral reefs, seagrass beds, and sand bottoms from Belize to Brazil. And yeah, they're saying that it's tragic that they only just recognized the species
6
that
years
it
ago.
exists. And then they want to prevent its extinction and whatnot. But it's pretty cute looking. I like from the underbelly, its little teeth. It's like, it's kind of cute. So.
Well, maybe we should also post a picture of the shark.
I mean, it's a it's. I don't know if it's dead, which makes me feel a little bit sad. But yeah. So that was the new species of hammerhead.
Well, thank you. This was a much happier way to end the episode.
Yeah. Some life instead of death.
Yeah. Dear fucking God, yeah. Huh. Okay. Thanks for listening to this horribly depressing episode.
Yes.
Of News Tangent. This was longer than the episode that we recorded today.
Yeah, I just realized
God
that.
damn it.
Well,
at least
we
there's
have
not that
some
much
content.
editing. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Translation Murder Podcast, or send us an email at translationmurderpodcast@gmail.com. Hey, paralla. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.